Hello and welcome to another episode of the Corgi Town USA podcast. As always, I am Candy, owner of this podcast and lifestyle brand. In my lap is Chuckles, our spokes, Corg.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and somewhere around here is my son, Digby.
Your first son?
My first son.
And we are so lucky today because we have in-person guests. If you follow Bacon on any of the socials or you've seen him on some of his very, very famous TV segments, this is the wonderful Bacon, and that's his mom, Ginger. Welcome, guys.
We're happy to be here.
If you are listening and not viewing, we highly recommend you go over to our YouTube page so that you can see Bacon and how he's taking up Ginger's entire lap.
Not only is he taking up Ginger's entire lap, he's dressed better than
all
of us put together.
He's a fashionista.
He is a
And
fashionista.
he's currently drooling on your leg.
It's fine. He's not.
No,
No, there's no wet spot.
Hey,
I'm
look,
good.
Give it a few minutes. You're good.
Okay.
we wouldn't have it any other way, though.
That's right. That's right.
Everything I own.
Well, so we wanted to bring you guys in. If you have been following us for the last 4 seasons, John was our very first guest. That is Bacon's Corg dad and Ginger's husband. And he was helping us with traveling with your Corgi. And we thought that was a really good segment. And so we wanted to talk about the fabulous Bacon and kind of the history here, why we're lucky enough to know you guys and get to hang out with you guys and call you friends. Ginger, tell us your first, or what? I don't think it was your Colton was not your first Corgi.
No, I had Harley, who was a half Corgi, half, I think, Chihuahua mix, more, or maybe 3/4 Corgi. And I had him when I met John.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Aw.
So, and John had actually never had a dog before. So when he was like dating me, he was kind of dating Harley at the same time.
You converted him
I did.
into
Yeah.
the ways of the Corg.
Ways of the
Had-
Corg.
Yeah. That was his first dog experience. So
Oh, that's
wow.
so sweet. Well, and then so there's Colton.
yeah.
And Colton is actually how we got to know each other because I had Lilo, my first Corgi, and you arranged meetups. You had the Corgi Club.
Yeah, we used to do a bunch of indoor. It's so hot in Arizona in the summer, so we would do a bunch of the indoor Corgi meetups through Corgi Club with Colton, my original like all Corgi boy, and then Aspen, who is not as friendly with people, but still she was always there in spirit for all of those meetups.
She's discerning. She's a
Yes.
very discerning Corgi.
John's other wife,
John's other wife. Wow.
Oh my
the
goodness.
one he prefers.
Well, we're if you have been lucky enough, and you guys travel all over, so I'm sure a lot of our audience that's listening or viewing might know Bacon and have gotten to meet Ginger and meet the wonderful family. And so maybe you have, but if you have not been to one of Bacon's awesome parties, this guy throws some ragers.
He tries. He definitely tries. That's for sure. He's
Yeah.
definitely the life of the, well, he doesn't look like the life of the party right now, but generally speaking, he's the life of the party. He's a little tired from school.
Well, yes, he was
Aw.
in school today. Well, and there are also 5 other Corgis here running around giving him a run for his
He
money.
was
That's-
enjoying that. He was enjoying that.
That's right. That's right. And Bacon, what were you in school today for?
Oh, he goes for like canine enrichment stuff. So
Mm.
he has fun. He loves it. But then he comes home and he's exhausted.
He did well. They do brain games and stuff there.
Which is
Yeah.
which is really fabulous for these guys.
They
Yeah.
need it.
They-
Working
yeah.
breed. They need to have all those little brain cells put to work.
Oh, were those protesting?
It was just like a I do what I want growl and
Mom, why are you making me do this? God.
can you put your head up, buddy? Come here. You
Well,
have
I
such a-
want to talk about if you're comfortable about talking about Colton
Mhm.
and what happened, just to say how Bacon came to be. You know, how Bacon came into your life.
Sure, yeah. Colton is my forever dog. He's my heart dog, and
Yeah.
I had him. I actually, sorry, he was talking. Sorry, corgis are talking.
Wouldn't be a Corgi podcast without it.
Yeah, no, we had Aspen and Colton. We had Aspen originally, and then I got Colton. And that's how we kind of started Corgi Club with them. And then Colton ended up getting very sick. He had a bunch of stuff wrong. He had a what is it called? A tumor that we ended up having to go up to UC Davis to try to
Wow.
have removed. It was a long process. It took forever to find it. And ended up, they were one of the only veterinary places, and they're a teaching hospital. They were one of the only places that could even attempt that surgery. And we went up there and spent 3 weeks up there. They did the surgery. It was a successful tumor removal, but it was an open surgery. They had to like cut him all the way open to do it. And he had a lot of complications from it. He had a grade 5 kidney injury and ended up getting sepsis, and we lost him in March of 2020. So that was horrific. It was right when the pandemic was starting. So we were up in California for that, and we had to come back, and I was going to take some time and just kind of wait. But my mom and John knew better. And about 2 weeks after we came home from California, this little guy arrived from Ohio. My mom she breeds other dogs, and so she had a breeder friend that put her in contact with the breeder in Ohio. And with a lot of work, he ended up, it was during the pandemic, so it was like our pet nanny had to drive from wherever they lived in, like Chicago. They had to drive to Ohio and then ended up flying out here, and he got here at the end of March of 2020.
You were a
Wow.
road tripper from the get-go, buddy.
Yeah, he was used to
Yeah.
planes from the beginning.
And how did we come up with the name Bacon?
He got the name Bacon because bacon was Colton's absolute favorite food in the entire world. And, you know, food names are kind of fun with corgis. And at the time, now he's a ginormous beast. But when I got him, he was this little tiny, very, very dark red dog. And it kind of looked like a little bacon strip. So it fit very well. Now he's 38 pounds. So
now he's a pack of bacon.
Now he is
it's a very
pack
long pack of bacon.
bacon.
Yeah.
Are you a pack of bacon? I love the fact, for those of you who are not watching on the YouTube channel, and I don't know if our camera has picked them up, Bacon's outfit he has a lot of blue and orange, and Ginger has orange and purple, and there's some amount of purple in Bacon's little outfit. It's like mom and child are all matchy. And
well, those are team colors, right?
Yeah, it's him. That's his design.
That's Bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon is on his clothes.
Yeah, Bacon is on Bacon's clothes. It's just
Bacon Booker. He has no shame. He's all about promoting his brand.
Well, we did, and one of the funniest stories I think to tell is Bacon does a lot of media because he's a famous guy and he gets around. And you guys were so kind to invite us to do the Bacon Booker last year for Rally the Valley for
Channel 12.
Channel 12, the Phoenix Suns. And so we had a handful of our corgi friends. Well, Chuckles here is used to doing the podcast.
So cute.
I was so embarrassed. He's used to doing the podcast. So when he sees cameras and mics, he's like, oh, I know what to do. I crawl in mom's lap and we do this. He's used to me saying, come on, Chuckles, and then we get started. Well, so the anchor, he just crawled up.
Jumped on Scotty's lap and was like, I'm ready.
Hey, what? And that poor guy, his suit was covered in fur. Like I said, I'm so sorry, but he was a really good sport about it. He's like, it's the best day at work ever. But I was so embarrassed because everybody's like, oh, which one's Bacon? Is this Bacon? I'm like, that's not Bacon. I'm sorry. I don't want to go in the shot and like, I mean, he's trying to take over. This is Bacon shot. But Chuckles, my little pup assist over there trying to take over.
It was awesome.
Well,
it was awesome.
But it does warm my heart though that like Chuckles loves bacon. So you'll see in meetups and stuff when I end up snapping pictures, he's almost always wanting to be right by him. Like he's always by him. And it's so sweet to me.
He's so personable. Chuckles is always all over where the people are at our little parties.
He's like, you're a star. Let's be friends.
Yeah. It's I like watching how especially at Chuckles' party, how some dogs, hung out with other dogs, and then some dogs were like, can I give, but if I just like kids, it's hysterical.
It is it's so funny because then you have like the dogs like Chuckles and Bacon that I wish that I had the amount of confidence and self-esteem that they do, because they can just like walk into any situation and like, hey, I'm here. Like, not like, oh, would it be okay? Because I'm the one that would walk up and be like, hi, they just like walk in like,
I have arrived.
I own the place.
I have arrived.
And of course, I have the child that goes and plays, and then 3 minutes later realizes, wait, where's my mom? Where's my oh, mom, you didn't abandon me, mommy. Thank you. And then he goes and plays, and then
not a bad thing though.
No,
It's not a bad thing how in tune he is. Like Chuckles would find a new family in a minute. I feel like he'd be like, "You're a lot more fun, and you're probably going to feed me more things I want."
He's got it pretty good. I'm not sure. I think John always jokes that if anyone ever took Bacon, that they would bring him back because he is very high maintenance. So he goes out and finds everyone, but then he'll come back. And if someone ever took him, like they might love him for a couple days, and then they'd be like, "Oh my god, this dog is so much work. Take it back.
Take it back. Yes, that's funny. My mother used to say that about me. If anybody ever kidnapped me, I said, "Somebody's going to kidnap me someday, and you'll be sorry." And my mother's like, "No, they're going to take you back, kid. They're going to take you back to me."
To be fair, you are a handful.
I am a handful. I am quite the handful. And so is my dog.
Yeah, it fits.
It fits.
Yeah. And I love these stories. And thank you for sharing that. I know that was really hard, but I just wanted everybody to know kind of how Bacon got into existence. And I know you get asked about your Instagram handle. So, and we'll share that actually on the banner, but it's CorgiClubColton. Yeah. And I think you've gotten questions before where they're like, wait, what's Bacon's Instagram? And they don't expect, and you have to kind of go through all that. And
yeah, we're never changing it. It's got to stay
cool.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
But Bacon's in the bio, but yeah, I got to keep it. Got to keep it my OG.
Yeah, 100%, because he has a legacy. But I like for people to know, how they come into an existence in our lives and kind of how we live this lifestyle. And I feel like, our audience, dear listener, dear viewer, you're like us. Like we were talking earlier about how we don't just love our pets, we're emotionally dependent on them.
100%.
Yeah. It's like, and it seems like there's a certain breed of people, pun completely intended, that fully understand what that means. That's not, no, I don't just love my pet. You don't understand. My existence and my happiness and my well-being depends on them being here with me and safe
100%.
and happy. Yeah.
Of course. And Ginger, how many outfits does Bacon own? I saw costume changes at the birthday party we were at.
Oh yeah, always.
I think I could get committed if I actually counted and gave a number on that, because he took over and has a bunch of Colton's old stuff. And then he has more than probably my husband, myself, and I could probably throw my mom, who I don't live with, but her stuff in. It's ridiculous. It's an entire room plus my stuff in my closet. So I couldn't even give you a number, but way too many.
How do you keep it like straight? How do you organize it?
It's in, some of the stuff is seasonal. So like he'll have, different, I have costumes in like a thing, but then he's got so much Christmas stuff that has its own thing. Easter, all the holidays are separate. And then just like formal stuff. It's ridiculous. And then he has hats, and then he has two giant drawers filled with sunglasses. And then the bandanas and bow ties are insane. And then just props. It's way too much. T-shirts, tank tops, button-up shirts. Yeah.
Bacon definitely has more clothes than I do.
Oh
yeah,
for sure.
I'm feeling a little jealous right now.
Oh, I am jealous. Like all the mail that comes to my office, literally, like I get bills, like invoices for my work stuff, and then everything that's fun. Even the girl at the front desk is like, "Bacon got more mail." Like, yeah, of course he did.
Does Bacon get fan mail?
Yeah, and brands and stuff. So he's spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
And then I buy him a bunch of stuff. So,
you can't help it. With a face like that, you can't help it.
You guys know how it is. You say, "Oh, we're done. We're not going to get any more of that," and then you do.
Yeah, I have no resolve. Kat has some resolve.
I have some resolve, but
you're spoiled.
Yeah,
you don't need anything else.
I'm done. Oh,
mean
yeah,
mama.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He eats everything. He's a little destructo child. He really is. He's destructo child.
So you got to keep buying it then.
No, I don't.
Well, the rocks, and then there was the rock.
There was that whole rock incident. So there was that.
Well, maybe if you bought him stuff, he wouldn't eat. I'm just kidding.
Corgi advocate over here.
So. In all fairness, apparently some bacon fat, actually, when we were smoking bacon earlier in the year, not you, Bacon, don't get nervous.
He's like, whoa,
don't get nervous. It dripped onto the rocks, and this one licked and then decided that perhaps that was a piece of bacon. Not you, sweetheart. Please don't get nervous. And and so there we were in the ER. such as like, I buy him stuff.
I know you do. I was giving you a hard time.
I put little shoes on him. He hates it. I put little outfits on him. He hates it. He likes naked.
Yeah, that Bacon, from the moment that he arrived here in Arizona in March, my mom and John got him. They brought him to me already wearing a sweater, so it was destined. Like, if my mom was like, "If you're gonna be her dog, bro, you gotta do this. This is gonna be part of the deal.
You got to rock the runway, bruh.
You'll be spoiled rotten, but you gotta do it."
I think the only outfit I'm getting for Digby is going to be next year, getting the tartan to match his daddy's tartan
Oh
for
my
the
goodness
the wedding tartan. That's it.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear the protest.
Yeah, is that
I-
protest?
Yeah, that is like, I am not. Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
This is daily on the podcast.
This is daily on
We
the-
lose equipment all the time.
That's right. Yeah. So there's a protest. You know, I'm not wearing a skirt. It's not a skirt.
See what
it's a
you
kilt.
started? See what you started?
I know.
Well, so let's talk about so a day in the life of Bacon. You're very busy. You have a very busy work life, and we know that you're very busy with the corgi stuff that you do and his activities and traveling. What does a day in the life of Bacon look like?
I guess it depends on if we're traveling or not. If it's a day that we're here, it could be
Maybe.
him getting up, going on his walk, having his breakfast, and then maybe going to school. And he's there for usually from like 9 to 2. They do all kinds of activities there.
It's like kid school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like canine enrichment. He loves that. He gets to play with friends. They have recess. And I get pictures and little videos throughout the day of him doing stuff.
Aw.
So that's really fun. And then a lot of time I pick him up. He always has a snack. We go home. I do some work. He usually has to have a nap. Sometimes we do a park meetup at least once a week up at Chaparral. So we'll go do that. Sometimes that's the same day, depending on if it corresponds with the school day. And then we always go have do like dinner with whoever goes to the park afterwards. And if it's
Burger time.
yeah, he
Burger
loves
time.
his little puppy patties.
Yeah.
And if it's travel, then it could be for my work, but I always try to incorporate something fun in for him. So we know everyone knows with social media, it seems like all these friends that you have are actually your Instagram friends. And
Right.
so we end up, even if I work, we try to coordinate. Seems like every state we know somebody. So we'll try to meet up at a dog park or a pool or something and try to let them play and let him see his friends around the state. We've made so many awesome friends that way. His birthday party had so many people that were from other states that
Wow.
like we had met from Instagram. And
Yeah.
so he's very, very outgoing.
You got bros in different area codes.
And
Yeah.
and girls, and as other people have said, bros and
Yeah. And the other one.
and
And the other one. Hey, Rico Suave.
If you're listening to this, Brinkley, his heart belongs to you, sweetheart. Ollie and Brinkley.
Yeah, we can't forget Brinkley. They're in California.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
just saw her this weekend. She came out for a bark at the park.
Yeah,
Aw.
we got to do that. Should have brought Digby. That would have been fun.
Bark at the park. Yeah.
He would have been barking at the park.
They all
Like
did.
a-
Oh my gosh.
You mean this past weekend when I was in school all day, every day?
Yeah, I know.
So both of you are far more social than I am with the dogs. How does that translate to your own friends, your own social life? Has that increased your social life?
Do we have non-corgi friends?
I don't have a
Well,
social life outside of.
Well-
I mean, they're my friends too, but I
Yeah.
made them through Bacon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We
Corgi mom
we
friends.
all have friends through something. And
You're a
so
social engineer, Kat.
I'm a social engineer.
Yeah.
I don't socialize as much with Digby as I do with other things. And so I have friends through other things. And what I'm wondering is beyond and I guess I'm asking this question for our dear listener, dear viewer out there who is kind of on their own and they've got the dog and they may be a little shy, they may be a little, whatever, a little hesitant. So yes, your friends end up being, when you have children, your friends end up being the other moms and dads. When you have corgis, is it that same feeling where the parents are an extension not only of the dog, but it also
Yeah.
helps you to make friends and socialize.
I think so.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think so much of that I wouldn't have met 90% of the people that I consider friends if it wasn't for dogs. And even my friends that are not corgi friends, none of them they barely socialize with me if it's not. I mean, he is a
Some
part of
bacon.
all of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Right.
whether he's with us at a meeting or he on my work trips, he travels with us. Like, and they know that outside of, you know, I do love Alabama football and I love the Phoenix Suns, but other than that, everything I talk about is the dogs. So.
Right.
Yeah. And I think I know what you're saying, Kat, because I feel like we have some friends like that in our circle that either had moved from other places or maybe didn't have a big circle, as it were. And then they started joining and our dogs became friends and now they're our friends. So, yeah, I mean, that is very much a thing.
I think there's like examples I could even think of in like the group of people that come out to a lot of the pool parties and stuff that we do that, you know, there's his good friend Kilo's mom moved here from Ohio and didn't I mean, not that she can't meet people, she met people through her job, but it definitely, I think she would even tell you, helped her like, oh wow, you know, Kilo met all these people and
was another channel. Yeah.
Yeah. And then other people, you know, even other people that come out to the park have said, you know, oh, this is so great because now I'm, you know, actually meeting people and getting out, and the dogs are a great way to have that happen.
Yeah, I agree. But to see, there's also that thing that these wonderful people understand our level of crazy.
This is true.
Yeah.
And you know, and parents with human babies understand that level of crazy
and what the life is like.
And what the life is like. It just I kind of want to encourage our listeners and viewers that if you've got your little fur baby and you're kind of feeling lonely and you're feeling like get out there. There's a ton of stuff, certainly on
join a meetup.
Certainly,
unless you're in Oklahoma City, because doggy flu is going around right now.
Oh, okay.
From our previous guest. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, and under normal circumstances, definitely check with your vet. But yeah, I like that. That's good advice. I mean, they're a great way to keep us social. They're a very social breed. And to your point, Kat, I have friends in other circles. I'm into cars. I'm into music.
Yes,
I have musician friends, and some of them get my crazy, but nobody quite gets my crazy like the corgi people.
That's true.
Because we're all of that same crazy.
Absolutely.
So you had corgi mix before Colton. How did you get into corgis? What inspired you to get a corgi in the first place?
I always liked corgis. I always thought they were adorable. I got Harley when I was in college, and that was just kind of what was available. He had a corgi look, but you know, everyone's broke in college, so you take what you get. And I fell in love. He was the last puppy left, and I fell in love with him, and he was amazing. I had him for 11 years. And then when we lost him, you know, it's anyone who has a dog or has had a dog knows that feeling of just that you can't. Coming home is, you don't want to be home. It's so sad and so miserable when you don't have that. And so John and I had always said that we would get another dog. And ironically, we had been up in California. We were at Seaport Village and saw some corgis. And he was like, hey, that's what the full corgis, I could hike with it, because they were a little bigger. Harley was a little bit smaller. And so he was like, that's what, you know, we should do that. And so that's how we ended up with Aspen, and she became his dog so quickly that and I've always kind of had boy dogs. Like, I picked Aspen, so that was my choice, but I think everything kind of happened for a reason with that, because she's been the perfect dog for him. And so then we ended up, and they're like potato chips. It's hard to have like just one, I think. Well, maybe you can. Well, yeah, Candy's got the whole. Candy has multiple bags of chips.
Yes.
I can't stop.
Yes.
But yeah, so then how can you see one and not fall in love with them? And so we ended up with Aspen and then Colton. And then I feel like once you go corgi, it's hard to not keep going corgi.
Once you go corgi, you never go back. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with dogs, and we had the first corgi I had ever seen when I was in high school. My aunt she says, I'm going to get a dog today. And we had a lab, wonderful lab named Mace. And that's who I lived with in high school. And she says, I'm going to get a dog today. And she comes home with, you know, they go through a funny stage where they're adolescents, where just like all dogs do, things grow in different places. But corgis are exceptionally funny in the adolescent stage because they're like, their backs grow first and nothing else, or their ears. And you're like, are you okay?
What is that?
Yeah. And so that was the stage that she brought Kira home in. That was her corgi. And she comes home and this dog is sitting on the armchair. And I said, "That's the dog you picked up?" And she said, "Yeah." And it was really funny. I mean, obviously I'd never say that now, but I was like, "What is that?" She said, "It's a corgi." I said, "What?" She said, "A corgi." And I said, "She's really funny looking." And she's like, "I know." But then, of course, we fell in love with her. She was absolutely amazing and she was wonderful. And then I worked for a cell phone store in college. And this lady was one of my customers. And she's like, "Oh, you guys have a corgi?" She was looking at their phones with a picture on it. And I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, I breed corgis." I was like,
Really?
"You do?"
Hello.
Yeah, I think we're friends now. And so that was my Lilo, which is like your Colton. That's my absolute heart baby. I carry him with me every day. And
Yeah.
but yeah, they're so special and they're so amazing. And so I always love to ask how people got started with them. But I know also one of the things that is fun to tell people is those of us that had them before they were sort of in vogue, before they caught on, that was the conversation. People would say, "It's a really interesting looking dog. What kind of dog is that?"
People are so crazy. Like we had when I'd be walking through, because I go to other states all the time,
Yeah.
and so they're not. I feel like California, Arizona, kind of out here, they're catching on a lot quicker than.
Right.
So I would be back in like North Carolina, and I think it was in the Charlotte airport. Somebody, and he was serious. This guy comes up to me and he's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, his name's Colton. He's a corgi. Did you like have his legs operated on and make them shorter? Like, what kind of person are you?" I'm like, "No, that's the breed." Like,
That's how they come out of the package.
he thought I had like cut them down.
Cosmetic
I was
surgery.
like, yeah, all 4 of them. We just they had a 4 for 2 special. We just did all of them. Like, but he was dead serious, and they just hadn't seen him back there.
Yeah.
Don't worry, baby, we won't do that to
Well,
you.
that's Bacon's protesting. Yeah, and I remember that was always, "Oh, he's really interesting. What is this? A what? And, like the Queen's dogs." Like, "Oh, I thought she had Dachshunds." Well, she does have those too. Yeah, but now we have the pup-parazzi where you can't go anywhere. And actually, my friend
God.
Marvin, he really got a good taste of that because the first time we went anywhere, that was when I had Lilo.
Right.
And so we had these 3 corgis and we're on the pier in San Diego. And he's like, "Woman, you cannot go anywhere," because every time there would be this swath of people that were taking pictures and petting and loving them. And that's the pup-parazzi. They have the star quality.
They have the star quality now. Very funny story. A couple of years ago, we went up to Jerome. Eric and I went up to Jerome with the dogs, Wiggin and Digby.
Dearly departed Wiggin.
Dearly departed Wiggin. And so people came up to Wiggin, a cattle dog, and they ignored Digby. Well, you had never seen anyone so insulted in his life. He's
How
like,
dare they?
But Corgi, but
he's like, "I'm the star. I'm always the star."
And Wiggin is kind of a shy, laid back little doggy, and it was just the funniest thing.
They're like, "This never happens to us." No, like people will like come running up to you like crying, like, "Oh," like people in cars like, wait, stop. And,
stop in traffic. Yep.
Running up to you. My mom breeds French bulldogs, and so how I ended up with corgis, but it drives her. She's gotten used to it. But with Colton, when she would travel, she'd come out to California to see the beach sometimes, and she'd have an adorable puppy with her, like a super cute Frenchie puppy. But people would be like, "Oh, he's cute Frenchie. Oh my God." And she's like, "What the heck? Like, why are they doing this?"
Yep.
Colton overshadowing.
She's used to it now, but it's just something about corgis.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Well, they make our lives whole. That's for sure.
They do.
Well, I think Bacon's getting a little surly. We're going to let him run around with the Corgi committee and not keep you guys all night. But thank you so much for coming to the studio and telling us the story. And we're so grateful to be friends with you guys and be a part of this little community. And we love and cherish both of you. And just grateful that you came in to tell our audience all about a day in the life of Bacon.
No worries. Thank you for having us on. We feel the same way.
Oh, so sweet. Well, we're here for you every week. New episodes, training, grooming, life of corgis, health of the breed, all things for parents, corgi lifestyle. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Follow us on the socials, Corgi Town USA. We're going to go let these doggies run around and not stick them in front of the camera. So from Candy,
Cat,
Ginger, and Bacon.
Yes.
And Chuckles, Mortimer, Booger, Hammer, Digby, the Corgi committee.
That's
we'll
right.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.